Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about a topic inside a CS246E object-oriented course in University of Waterloo. Today I'm going to have a demonstration of what happens if a destructor throws, and I hope you enjoy the video. And please subscribe my channel if you would like to see more videos about the courses of the University of Waterloo. So, here we do have a class of exceptions, which I call it my exception, something like that, and have a class C, which has a destructor, and the destructor throws the exception. So there is a function h here that will create a object C1, and here when the function ends, the destructor for object C1 will be called, which means a exception will be thrown, and there is no handler here, so no handler, which means pass the exception to the function who called us, which is in this case function f. And so we pass the exception to function f. So here we expect to handle the exception. So, and we are going to handle the exception, so we should see exception catched in the results. So let's run the program and we'll talk about it more. So let's see what happens. Well, that was not the case. As you can see, it will say that the code terminates. So why is that? Because, I will write the lessons up here. By default, if a destructor throws, it will result in an immediate termination in the program. But as a C++ programmer, there is a way to avoid this. And there is a simple function called noExcept, which, as you can see, it's a keyword. And this is a tag for the destructor, and you will put false for this tag. And this will say that do not do what you do by default. Do not terminate the program if you see an exception. So let's see what happens if I do this. So we put noExcept. So now we're expecting to see exception catched. Well, immediately, exactly, that's the case. Exception catched. So let's see why our instructor told us don't let the destructor throw. What's wrong with it? Everything seems fine. Well, let's have another function, void g. And this function g is going to create an object C2 and then call h, for example. And here we will call g. And our noExcept is still there, so we don't want to see termination immediately. We want to say exception catch because they're going to throw exceptions. So let's run the program first, and then I will talk about it in a second. Oops, another termination. But why is this one happening? Well, let's go deep inside the code to see what's going to happen. Here, the function h was called. So the function h gets called. Again, the destructor for object C1 will be called when the function ends. An exception will be thrown, and there is no handler, so pass the exception to the function who called us, which in this case is g. So here, g receives an exception from h. And since there is no handler in G, it will be passed to the function who called us, and in this case it is f. So we're going to receive and this is for object C1. But notice a thing here. When the function g is going to end, here we call the destructor for object C2. And the object C2's destructor, the destructor for object C2 is also going to throw an exception here. Well, also there is no handler here. There is no handler for exception thrown for object C2. So what will happen? It will pass the exception to the function who called us, which is function f. So let's take a look to function f. Here it receives two exceptions. One for object C1 and one for object C2. Wait a second. Now which one should I handle? That's a big problem. So there is a thing that we can't avoid anymore, and the rule is if we have two unhandled exceptions in the code, immediate termination of the code is guaranteed. And there is no way to avoid this. So, as a rule of thumb, as your instructor should also told you, the rule is never let the destructor throws. Swallow it if necessary. And as you can see, there is a problem to have an exception inside the destructor of a class, and that was the result of today's video. And I hope you all enjoyed this video and learned the thing about C++ and your course. And thank you for watching this video till end.